Good morning. I'm Lacey Shippey on the Rural Radio Network, and it's time to take a look at our midday livestock trade with livestock market analyst Kyle Bumsted. And Kyle, right now we are sitting a couple bucks lower in both live and feeder cattle. Tell me a little bit about what you see in trade today.
That's right, Lacey. We traded about a $5 to $6 range here in these feeders. We are clawing back off our daily lows. The index today looks like it's going to be up about 94 cents around that 319.70 area, with the daily number going into that calculation of 329.99 on 1,413 head. We did see a few sales here finally over the weekend to get a few numbers to come back in the index, and that's what our biggest downfall was last week, was the holiday week and lack of sales. So far we are, like I said, we had traded that $5 to $6 range. Our lows in this March feeder contract were 313.72, and we're sitting at 316.15. Our high was 319.05, and we're still sitting here on this 316.15 area. So down about $1.55 to $1.70 across the board. Live cattle, we're down about $1.25 here on this December contract. Now Friday, December live cattle future options expire, and we got first notice day coming out here 1 week from today. So I do look for there to be some kind of a roller coaster action here happening this December contract. Most of your open interest lies between this 215 and 220 strike as far as your puts and calls. So we may see a tug of war here in this area. Now, moving forward here, I do think we're going to see some volatile movement here, but I do think that last week's lows should hold. And that we should maybe have put in a low here on this cash and this and the futures here last week. So it is imperative though that moving forward here, last week's lows do hold. And folks, it doesn't take long. We're 10, 15, almost $20 off these lows here from last week. So it is a very volatile market. And moving forward here, I think the cash could stabilize here as we round out and we move into lighter numbers here towards the first of the year.
That is livestock market analyst Kyle Bumsted with a look at your midday livestock trade. You're listening to the Rural Radio Network.
You know, a favorite trucker hat with a wedding tuxedo is certainly a unique combination, but not as crowd-pleasing of a combination as Cropland WinPak varieties. WinPak soybeans blend together two complementary varieties to help maximize yield potential and reduce risk across variable field conditions in many environments. Talk to your local Cropland retail seed expert about WinPak varieties, one of the most unique concepts in soybeans today.
Attention tech-savvy farmers and ranchers, or maybe those just curious about technology. Plan to attend Front 40 Tech, a producer-focused event for farmers and ranchers taking place at this year's Nebraska Ag Expo on Tuesday, December 9th. See Ag Tech in action. Stay competitive by learning what's next in ag technology and make connections with peers, innovators, and local ag professionals. Learn more and register for Front 40 Tech at NebraskaCombine.com. Brought to you by the Combine, Nebraska's Ag Tech Incubator.
Welcome back to the Rural Radio Network. I'm Lacey Shippey from the Tractor Tuesday Market Desk. Make sure you get your equipment in the end of your auctions at TractorTuesday.com. Corn futures are pretty sideways here today, holding just above nearby support. On the weekly export report, corn inspections were solid at 1.4 million metric tons, with year-to-date pace at 171%. Soybeans are 5 to 6 cents lower, with no new news recorded this morning as far as exports, which has traders a little disappointed as they wait for any sign of Chinese business. Last week's inspections were still soft at about 920,200 metric tons, with yearly pace at only 54%. And wheat futures are mixed, with the weaker dollar keeping some support in place despite broadly negative outside markets. The weather is turning colder for the plains and should push things toward dormancy across the area, with crop condition reporting likely wrapped up for the year. March corn is down 1 3/4 at 4.46. May down 1 at 4.54 3/4. January soybeans down 5 3/4 at 11.32. March down 4 3/4 at 11.41 1/4. Chicago March wheat is down 1/2 at 5.38. May down 1 1/4 at 5.45 1/2. Kansas City wheat in March is up 2 at 5.29 1/2. May up 1 1/4 at 5.40 1/4. And soybean meal for January down 3.20 at 3.15.50. January bean oil up 38 at 52.43. December live cattle down 132 at 214.25. February down $2 at 215.85. January feeders down 270 at 321.27. March down 170 at 316.15. December lean hogs up 12 cents at 80.72. February unchanged at $81. Here on the Rural Radio Network.